After conversing with Zhang Zixing, he invited Yi Chen to his mansion to conveniently treat Xiao Qiao. At Zhang's mansion, the imperial physician had been summoned to attend to the patient. "Master Hui Chun is here, please come in," a servant announced. "How is the patient?" Master Hui Chun inquired. The maid replied, "It's quite embarrassing. Despite our diligent efforts, she remains unconscious." Master Hui Chun stroked his beard thoughtfully. "I've heard that this young lady is the companion of the owner of the heavenly book," he remarked. "Indeed, she sacrificed both her life and body to protect the owner of the heavenly book. That's why she was gravely injured by the Ting Chao sect. Our master is anxiously awaiting good news. Please, come in and see for yourself." The servant opened the door for the imperial physician, but to their surprise, the room was empty. Xiao Qiao was nowhere to be found. It turned out she had already fled earlier, hiding behind a nearby wall to eavesdrop on the situation. Only after the two men left to search for her did she dare to breathe a sigh of relief. Inviting Master Hui Chun as well, Zhang Zixing is truly generous. Luckily, I managed to escape in time, or else I would have been exposed. I thought playing unconscious would make that little guy come over to me, which would have been perfect for gathering more information. But all of a sudden, he turned and followed Zhang Zixing instead. He really doesn't know how to appreciate beauty. It's good that he dared to escape my scheming. What's he planning? Xiao Qiao chuckled with a sinister grin from her hiding spot. She retrieved a strange-looking talisman. "I'm not someone you can mess with so easily," she muttered. Activating the tracking talisman, wherever it went, she followed. Suddenly, it seemed to want to enter a strange house. It appeared Yi Chen was inside. Xiao Qiao smirked triumphantly. "Ah, found you. My talisman is the best, it can find anyone, even if you were to hide in another province." Placing the talisman on the door, she tried to peek inside. "Let me see what you're up to," she whispered suspiciously. "Why is there no movement? Could they be on guard?" Xiao Qiao licked her fingertip to moisten it, then pierced a hole in the door sticker with it before peering inside. "Don't want me to hear, huh? Well, if that's the case, I have no other choice. I must see with my own eyes what you're up to," she muttered. As she looked inside, her eyes widened in shock at the scene unfolding before her. Two men were undressing each other in a closed room, a sight that was undeniably stimulating. Zhang Zixing was unbuttoning his shirt while Yi Chen's hand was roaming over his body. The expression on Zhang Zixing's face could easily fuel the imagination of someone as imaginative as Xiao Qiao, but in reality, he was just showing Yi Chen the mark on his right chest. Observing with his eyes and feeling with his hand, Yi Chen found the pattern of the mark somewhat familiar. It couldn't be mistaken, indeed, it was the mark of Zhang Kong's lineage. With a proud expression, Zhang Zixing explained, "This mark was carved by my father and is also a symbol of the Zhang family's inheritance. Please trust me, senior." Yi Chen smiled softly, "I still vividly remember the scene where you and your father went to war with me. In the blink of an eye, you became so big." Zhang Zixing clasped his hands together and recounted the story. "I fear there may be some things you're unaware of. 40 years ago, when father was gravely ill, he summoned me to his bedside and handed me a bundle of broken chopsticks. He then passed on the title of city lord to me. At that time, besides his father, there was another person in the room, none other than the Poison Supreme. Wearing a black cloak, the Poison Supreme came to visit while Zhang Zixing's father, Zhang Kong, was lying in bed. You're the next city lord, aren't you? You seem like you'll live for a long time," the Poison Supreme remarked. As a young man, Zhang Zixing humbly knelt down, clasping his hands together in reply. "I dare not. Tian Shu City was built by you, sir. I am merely taking over as city lord in place of my father. You are indeed a well-behaved child, worthy of the affection Zhang Kong has for you. In short, besides keeping an eye on the heavenly book, I also want you to regularly report to me," the Poison Supreme instructed. When the owner of the heavenly book finds it, tell them to come to Fu Tian cave immediately. Master. Zhang Zixing both described the Poison Supreme's demeanor at that time and asked Yi Chen to keep this matter secret from everyone. Basically, the appearance was so nauseating and repulsive. Yi Chen noticed the demeanor of the Poison Supreme, feeling suspicious. Zhang Zixing jumped in to explain further, "You're not wrong. That person is indeed his third disciple, Lu Yen. The Poison Supreme has been reigning over the southern mainland for a long time, serving as the overlord." Yi Chen thought to himself, "I already know. My disciples all have tremendous potential. Even if my third disciple has the lowest level of skills, they can still become a famous figure. But why Fu Tian Cave? It's not just a random mountain where I keep some old elixirs. And you're telling me to go without informing Yen Heir? What excuse can I use to conceal this?" While lost in thought about what to do, Zhang Zixing suddenly called out to his senior and immediately knelt down, bowing his head. This action left Yi Chen bewildered. "Little Zhang, what are you doing?" he asked. "The position of city lord was not supposed to be passed down to me so soon. Nonetheless, my father's lifelong wish is to personally welcome the owner of the heavenly book. Every day, he dedicates himself to cultivation. I know I shouldn't bother you with such a trivial matter, but I still seek your guidance," Zhang Zixing explained tearfully, his tears falling freely onto the ground, revealing the deep-seated anguish he had been carrying for a long time, sensing Zhang Zixing's long-standing burden. Yi Chen reached out and gently stroked his head. "Little Zhang, your father and I have had a long-standing relationship. How could I ignore his wishes? Where is he now?" Zhang Zixing, moved, sniffled and replied, "My father is currently in a deep sleep at Kunlun Mountain. The journey there is long, but first, we should head to the place where the Poison Supreme arranged to meet." At the same time, outside, Xiao Qiao, unable to hear the contents of the conversation and with her idealistic perspective, misunderstood the situation gravely. She held her head and screamed, "You're such a pervert. I've realized that the conversation between these two is fake, but their feelings are real. That's why I let them be alone here. I've waited so long for this opportunity, and now you want to ruin it? Are you trying to make a fool out of me?" Xiao Qiao's frustration became unbearable, and she kicked the door open, storming inside, startling both Yi Chen and Zhang Zixing. "Who would want to share that with a man? Don't even think about it," she exclaimed. Xiao Qiao tossed a mesmerizing bomb inside, causing a loud explosion. After it was over, Xiao Qiao entered the room. By this time, Yi Chen had fallen into unconsciousness. Xiao Qiao smiled cunningly and said, "No matter how strong you are, as long as they use my sleeping pill, you will definitely faint and fall down. And of course, I want to have your body to enjoy." Xiao Qiao was about to devour Yi Chen when suddenly the heavenly book fell from somewhere. The heavenly book opened on its own and emitted a bright light. Xiao Qiao didn't understand what was happening. Before she could react, a group of beautiful fairies flew out from within the heavenly book and wrapped Xiao Qiao in their arms. Xiao Qiao was mesmerized and intoxicated with pleasure. "Ha ha ha, what is this in the heavenly book? Why is there something like this? Oh heavens, the heavenly book is coming, I'm about to ascend," she exclaimed. In reality, there were no fairies here, it was all just an illusion created by the heavenly book's enchantment. Xiao Qiao was now bound by the heavenly book, but the sensation of pleasure still spread throughout her body. Suddenly, Xiao Qiao saw purple rings appearing above her head. What are these shapes and colors? Xiao Qiao's vision became blurry as she was mesmerized by the heavenly book, causing it to release her. Xiao Qiao felt like a puppet as she stood up and approached Yi Chen, who was lying there. Then, she sat directly on Yi Chen with a seductive and sinister look. She began lifting her dress, leaving the rest to the imagination. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel to support us. Yi Chen had just been hit by a sleeping pill, but due to his strong cultivation, he gradually regained consciousness. What's this? This scent is that of the sleeping spirit pill. As he opened his eyes, he saw an object obstructing his view. But why did this object feel so strange, soft, and smooth? When the object touched Yi Chen's face, he opened his eyes wider to see that it was Qiao Qiao lying on top of him, pressing two gigantic watermelons into his face. Yi Chen immediately sat up, but Qiao Qiao still clung tightly to him, her eyes no longer lucid due to the effects of the drug. What situation is this? Yi Chen pushed Qiao Qiao away. Don't come near me like that. Let me remember what happened before I passed out. I remember you barging in and saying incomprehensible things. At that time, everyone else seemed normal. Something must have happened later. As he withdrew his hand, Qiao Qiao clung tightly to him again. Why is she hugging me again? Qiao Qiao held onto Yi Chen's shoulder with one hand, while the other hand rested on his chest, then she leaned in as if to kiss him, but in reality, she wasn't. Yi Chen realized Qiao Qiao was smelling him. Qiao Qiao continued to sniff all over Yi Chen's body, then moved closer to his lower abdomen. Yi Chen jerked upright, his face flushed with embarrassment, probably from the effects of the drug. Just as Qiao Qiao was about to deploy her ultimate technique, Yi Chen immediately used his hand to lift her chin, looking at her as if he was smiling. Qiao Qiao suddenly widened her eyes, then she grabbed Yi Chen's hand and brought it close to her mouth, starting to gently lick it with her tongue. Her gaze filled with affection, as if she wanted to be petted. Yi Chen noticed this and felt a sense of familiarity. He immediately turned to look at the heavenly book, and indeed, it had been opened. Yi Chen understood what had happened to Qiao Qiao. To test it out, Yi Chen raised a finger in front of Qiao Qiao's face, and suddenly, she became excited, focusing her gaze on the finger. Then she pounced on him and attempted to lick him, behaving like a little dog. The most difficult situation had arisen. In fact, Yi Chen secretly referred to the heavenly book as the little dirty book, containing Yi Chen's collection of treasures over the years. To avoid detection, Yi Chen had added a prohibition called, "Do not indulge," into the heavenly book. If anyone other than Yi Chen deliberately tampered with it, they would be brainwashed. How did this girl see it? But she still belongs to Yen Air. I can't just sit back and ignore her, Yi Chen sighed. This is getting too complicated. Yi Chen swung his arm, pretending to throw something away. Qiao Qiao, now with the soul of a dog, quickly looked in the direction of Yi Chen's arm to see if there was anything there, but found nothing. She then turned back, arched her back, wiggled her hips, and barked like a dog. Woof woof bark. Your luck is quite good to encounter me. The principle of, do not indulge, is that the soul of a dog merges with the soul of a human. If conventional techniques were used to break through, it would only cause harm to the soul and turn one into a fool. Yi Chen forcefully pressed Qiao Qiao down to the ground with one hand, then slowly extracted the soul of the dog from within her. Now, Qiao Qiao had been cured without any damage to her soul. Before her soul was completely extracted, Qiao Qiao still tried to bark one last woof, then rolled her eyes and fell into a deep sleep, limbs sprawled, mouth gaping, and drooling. Afterward, Yi Chen used the heavenly book to heal her. This person's sleeping appearance is truly unique. It seems she has endured a lot of exhaustion. Let the heavenly book give you a beautiful dream, Yi Chen murmured. After waking up from the dream, everything will be resolved. I've helped her once, so she should also keep the secret and help me after waking up. Right? Yi Chen recalled his disciples' instructions. After obtaining the heavenly book, go quickly to Fu Tian Cave. Yi Chen sighed. Back to Fu Tian Cave again. Well, it's good. I'll take advantage of the opportunity while these two are still asleep. Then, I can avoid trouble when explaining. Yi Chen turned around to leave, but Qiao Qiao instinctively grabbed his shirt and pulled him back. Is she awake? Qiao Qiao was still in a daze, muttering and calling out to her master. Yi Chen was surprised. Qiao Qiao continued to cry and speak in her dream. Wait a moment, Qiao Qiao will behave properly. I can definitely protect you. Will you go see the Lantern Festival with me, master? Xiao Qiao doesn't want to be left alone. Yi Chen was a good person, so he couldn't bear to leave her behind. He wiped away her tears and sat down to wait. Yi Chen sighed. Let's wait until she wakes up before we go. At this point, Xiao Qiao stopped mumbling and fell into a peaceful sleep. A few hours later, Zhang Zixing finally woke up, bewildered. Why did I suddenly fall asleep? Where did my senior go?